güzel bir gece.
Özgür Özel, leader of Turkey's main opposition party, the Republican People's Party, CHP, has publicly criticized British Prime Minister Keir Starmer for failing to speak out against the arrest of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu. Özel accused Starmer of turning a blind eye to what he calls Turkey's democratic backsliding. Speaking to The Guardian, Özel expressed frustration with the UK Labour Party leadership, accusing it of ignoring attacks on a sister party and making a historic mistake by treating the mayor's arrest as merely a domestic matter.
They are making a historic mistake by seeing this as a domestic Turkish issue. Starmer's attitude is one that he will not be able to explain in future. I would like to send the following message. After this is all over, we will remember the silence of our friends, not the loud voices and negative comments of our enemies.
Imamolu, a high-profile CHP figure and mayor of Istanbul for 6 years, was arrested last month on corruption charges. The move sparked widespread outrage and triggered the largest anti-government protests in Turkey in over a decade. In response, hundreds of thousands have taken to the streets. The CHP is now leading twice-weekly rallies and calling for an economic boycott of companies reportedly aligned with President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. Authorities have detained nearly 1,500 people, including journalists and local politicians, since the protests began. Özel dismissed the charges as politically motivated, accusing Erdoğan of using the judiciary to silence critics.
A political trial. Erdoğan has his lawyers imprison those who disturb him and his team politically.
On the same day, Imamolu was transferred to a maximum security prison outside Istanbul. He was officially named the CHP's presidential candidate, cementing his status as Erdoğan's leading political rival. Despite the detention, Özel revealed that the CHP is strategizing ways for Imamolu to run a presidential campaign from behind bars. The next general election is scheduled for 2028, though the opposition is anticipating an early vote.
The upcoming election is a referendum on whether there will be autocracy or democracy in Turkey.
As political tensions rise, Özel has intensified his push for snap elections. He recently hosted a major rally in Istanbul and plans another in Erdoğan's Black Sea stronghold this weekend. Meanwhile, Erdoğan has filed a criminal complaint against him for allegedly claiming Turkey is governed by a junta that is afraid of elections. Özel dismissed the legal action as an intimidation tactic, warning that he too could face arrest if political pressure on the opposition escalates, just as it did with Imamolu. European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, have expressed concern over Imamolu's arrest. However, Özel is calling for more robust international action to counter what he calls Turkey's democratic erosion. He warned against prioritizing security partnerships with Erdoğan, especially as some European nations consider Turkey home to NATO's second-largest army in peacekeeping operations in Ukraine.
It is not right to make unprincipled negotiations with Erdoğan out of security concerns. Having NATO's first largest army in the hands of Trump and NATO's second largest army in the hands of an autocrat does not help anyone.
The British government has largely remained silent. UK Minister for Europe Stephen Doughty told Parliament in March that the situation in Turkey was being closely monitored and called for swift and transparent judicial processes.